The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico DeHaan and Paige Clark.
Well, good morning. I'm Paige Clark. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. This is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
To recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms, I'm Nico DeHaan.
And it's a beautiful day here, downtown Clearwater, Florida, 78 degrees. And we hope you're enjoying nice weather where you're at. Get out there and get some of that sunshine. And please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter, news you can use twice a month, $10 into your inbox, and good stuff that you can connect with and stay involved in our conversations here.
That's for sure. Take time to pick up our Primal Edge also. We have a special coming up. I think it starts Monday, so it'll be $75 instead of the $89 for the rest of the month. So get on that. I don't know if it's up on the site yet. Let's see. It says get your bottle here today. It doesn't reflect the price yet, but that'll be going up later today. So check that out, folks. $75 instead of the $89 for the rest of the month. So it's the best time to pick it up.
Good time to get it, yes.
Yep.
And you can use your Tiger Dollars and do it on the TFNN website. And you can give us a call at 877-927-6648.
And if you have any ideas for the show or just like to contact us by email, it's nico@tfnn.com.
And Paige at tfn.com.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, so Nico, maybe you can open up because for some reason my article that I sent us is not showing up in my box.
Well, we have this article here called Support Advances in Managing Care as a Metabolic Disease. So the last week I remember that we talked about the mitochondria.
Yeah, the mitochondria.
Yeah, and this article kind of supports what we're talking about, that the mitochondria is what's in control and it's what determines the health.
Well, I think what we're really seeing is that more and more researchers are finding out that the genetic cause for cancer is a dead end. But it's a very profitable dead end because it's like we're always still searching for the cure. It's obviously, how's that work for us? It really hasn't.
And it shows people that they're predisposed to it, and that's the only thing that matters. If it's your heredity, that means you're going to get it no matter what. So that's why we see things like a lot of preventative types of surgeries for cancer. So if you have that gene, they're encouraging you to get your breasts knocked off or have other types of surgeries to get rid of it. So these are the things that are in our society today. Let's just go over some of the facts here. 50% of men and 41% of women are expected to develop cancer during their lifetimes. Groundbreaking research reveals cancer is primarily a metabolic disease and does not have to be a death sentence, as they call it. Metabolic therapy, which includes a ketogenic diet, has been shown to prevent and treat many cancers, including incurable late-stage cancers. And a lot of this work is being done by D'Agostino.
Yeah, Dom D'Agostino at USF is really leading the charge on the ketogenic role in helping to prevent or reverse cancer and other metabolic diseases, but particularly in that area. But this is crucial, folks, because 51% of men and 47% of women, the new statistics say, will be affected by cancer. So, you know, again, we're talking about this, but those are some pretty high statistics, and I think it's important.
Well, if we said that Zika was killing this many people in a day, then our eyebrows would raise. And any other type of dengue fever or any kind of epidemic of smallpox, let's say, if this was, we'd say, boy, this is an emergency, we have to do something. And today what we're saying is that, well, cancer, everybody's probably going to get it sooner or later. So just be satisfied with that. And we've got all kinds of little things that we can use, like radiation and chemotherapy and surgeries to get rid of it. when what we're saying now, and most of the evidence is proving out, that it's really a metabolic disease. We can cure it by the way we live and how we eat.
Yeah, what I really like is, kind of this article that we're following and updating you with is from Mercola.com. And he's really supporting the work of a cutting-edge researcher named Tom Seyfried, who is really leading this. He's out of Boston College, and he is doing amazing work in this field. And Dr. Mercola is really encouraging people to donate, and he's going to match dollar for dollar whatever people donate to Tom Seyfried's work. Yeah, and I think this is amazing.
Yeah, Mercola is calling this the gold standard medical textbook for alternative oncologists and a savvy public.
Yeah, that's his book, which is called Cancer as a Metabolic Disease.
Right.
This came out in 2012, but if it's still a little over your head because of the biochemistry, Mercola recommends a great book by Travis Christofferson. It's a best-selling book that's called Tripping Over the Truth, How the Metabolic Theory of Cancer is Overturning One of Medicine's Most Entrenched Paradigms. And this book is really is a needed step to understand Seyfried's pioneering work and support it. And, I just wanted to let you guys know, it seems that whenever you bring up alternative cancer doctors and researchers, people
roll their eyes.
They roll their eyes, and they don't realize the quality of the people that are doing this and how many amazing Nobel scholars and everything really started this research, and it goes back to Otto Warburg. But, I really want to kind of tell you about Seyfried's background. He was a postdoctoral fellow in the Department of Neurology at Yale University, School of Medicine, and then he served as a assistant professor in neurology. Throughout his long career, he received many awards and honors from organizations for his work. And he recently received the Distinguished Alumni Award from the University of New England. And he presently serves on many editorial boards, and he's written 170 peer-reviewed papers. This is no humdrum guy. He's doing some great work.
Yeah, some of the things: American Oil Chemist Society, the National Institute of Health, the American Society for Neurochemistry, and the Ketogenic Diet Special Interest Group of the American Epilepsy Society.
That's right. So he's really someone to pay attention to. But let's talk about how his model theory of cancer differs from the genetic model of cancer. So keep in mind that the stigma or the dogma that your genes control everything from the research, that's what gets the funding.
Yeah.
They're looking for something, looking for the boogeyman. It's like looking for the big monster. This is how an oncologist in the U.S. must treat you. In fact, the system is set up that that's the standard of care. And Seyfried disagrees, and a growing number of prominent doctors and researchers are agreeing with this fact that there's another cause. And he has been able to advance this theory that cancer is primarily the result of defective energy metabolism in and damage to our cells' mitochondria. And for those of you that have been listening this last week, we've been talking about the mitochondria and how it's really the cells. It's the second genome in our body. It's not the nuclear genome. It's the second genome inherited by your mother that really is impacting these diseases. Let's pay attention, let's make some changes, and we'll be back to finish this conversation.
Number here is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. We'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Trading is different than investing, but the opportunity to take advantage of short-term trends is only one if you get the direction right. Direction leveraged and inverse ETFs offer bold trades on U.S. and international stocks and bonds. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. We're talking about this article, Support Advances in Managing Care as a Metabolic Disease. And it says here, simply put, genetic mutations are not the primary cause of cancer, but are rather a downstream effect of defective energy metabolism. So what does that really mean?
As long as your mitochondria stay healthy,
Yes.
and functional, your chances of developing cancer and many other diseases are very slim.
There you go.
And, this goes beyond just diet, but we want to talk about how Seyfried is one of the pioneers in the application of nutritional ketosis for cancer. And it really started back with Otto Warburg, as I mentioned.
That's the turn of the century almost.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
one
a
of
long
the
time
most
ago.
brilliant biochemists of the 20th century, and he was a personal friend of Albert Einstein's. And he received the Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine in 1931 on how cells obtain energy from respiration, and he was actually nominated for additional Nobel Prizes. But Seyfried's continuing this work, and he's following Warburg's footsteps, and he's conducts some very important research up at Boston College to advance this metabolic theory of cancer and the crucial role that nutritional ketosis can play in saving lives. After all, with 1,600 people in the U.S. alone dying every day, this is a lot of lost life by not having the truth.
1,600 a day, that's amazing.
600,000 a year, and that's just U.S. If you take it worldwide, it's in the 7.5 million.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
So to understand this, that we're saying that your diet, how you live in the environment and what impacts you in the environment, whether you're getting plenty of sunshine or not, whether you're...
I think the role of light and exposure to full spectrum light is critical. That's why I love Robbie Bessner, who's comes on and talks with us. He is an expert on light, been preaching this years, for the last 15 years he's been telling everybody about this. But we're going to talk about the fact, if we can go on and on. In this article, you might want to Google it and check it out. More and more people with, stage 4 glioblastoma brain cancers, given months to live, embrace the ketogenic diet, and here they are 6 years later, cancer-free. Multiple myeloma, very close to your heart, your sister. Mayo Clinic doctor is asked by the clinic, what are you doing? Because he's still around years and years after they expected he wouldn't. Stage 4 colon cancers, said no to standard of care, chemo, radiation, and surgery, said yes to the ketogenic diet. 4 years later, she remains cancer-free. Yeah. Folks, we've got to pay attention to this. And, here are 5 powerful steps that you can take to minimize your cancer risk. You can switch over to a cyclical ketogenic diet and then intermittent feasting and fasting. And, Dr. Mercola has a new book, Fat for Fuel, that's
Well, there's so much information now out with the ketogenic diet.
Oh, it's huge.
Easy to find. The other thing is to do, and we always talk about this, avoid the pesticides, the herbicides, genetically engineered, and factory farmed food.
We've been preaching that for a long time,
Yeah.
exactly.
Getting more exercise regularly.
That's right. Be an outsider. Get regular sun exposure, starting from the sunrise and sunset. Get back to enjoying the sun of the Creator.
And they're really not talking about the type of exercise that you're getting on a treadmill and you're hammering it away and you're exercising every day.
It's being engaged in nature.
Yeah, it's taking that walk after or before you eat. In the evening, what our ancestors always did. I went walks with my grandparents, with my parents when I was young. It was always a staple in our household. So these are really things that are entrenched in our society. And today, because of our modern living, because of the TV, just all the different distractions that we have in modern living, stops a lot of this. It's harder for us to do this because we're so connected to these iPads and iPhones and the TV that our life is completely changed from what it was a long time ago. How often do we say, let's just go to the park for a couple hours and do nothing, just walk around and be, yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And the 5th thing is detox your body with regular full spectrum infrared saunas. This is Dr. McCullough's. So again, exposure to full light. And number 4 is going to also help you every day, all day long.
So again, let's go over them. Ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, and feasting. Avoid pesticides, herbicides,
avoid
GMOs. More and more exercise regularly basis. Doesn't have to be profound, but it does have to be there.
Getting
sun exposure on a daily basis.
And realize what comes in has got to get detoxed out.
And then, of course, the detoxing is so important. And there's various methods of this. We have a great one with the sauna. We have great with drinking cold water, doing enemas, all kinds of things you can do. You just have to establish this and put this in your weekly regime of doing it on a regular basis. And that's how in the modern world we have to live, unfortunately. We can't just go outside and do like we did in the 50s when I grew up.
And as we're saying, the ketogenic diet, which is now being studied for its ability to manage cancer, but it's huge in helping to reverse the process of diabetes. And after all, diabetes is a huge killer, very expensive killer that's just really taking the lives and the quality of life of people. I was on a chat, and as I said, the truth is most people don't realize that they're diabetic. I think that the majority of us have this tendency towards metabolic syndrome as a result of our mitochondrial DNA we inherited from our mothers, our exposure to all this stuff. It's really a challenge.
Yeah,
it's really a challenge to stay healthy.
And the other challenge is, and I remember this with my sister, she said this was her dilemma, that she had the cancer, and she knew she had the cancer, and now she had to go and figure out what her solution was, whether it's to go with the doctors who have been friends of hers that she saw regularly through most of her life, or go to the alternative that you find on the internet that these people are doing. This is a real dilemma that we really have to solve because it can kill you or it can make you live.
Well, it's about informed consent, Nico, and we don't have that.
Not only that.
We're not getting the truth about what the standard of care, what the risks are for that.
Yeah.
It's thrown at you like, these are your choices, choose A or choose A.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that's true.
and what we're saying is let's let the information be out there that there's a choice A and a choice B.
But we're also in our society want quick fixes. We want, this is our decision, you're going to make the quick fix. And it may not sound like a quick fix going to chemo and things like that, but when you're looking at a lifestyle change, that's not a quick fix. That's something that we think happens over millennia. all your life. But the truth is that doesn't. It happens very quickly. So if you change your lifestyle, change your diet, get more sun, get rid of the toxins, your chances are much, much better than going the traditional route. And I wouldn't say traditional route, the modern route.
And, as we're talking about cancer, we're talking a little bit about the fact that the ketogenic diet, nutritional ketosis, can help these mitochondria in your body revert back to a normal state. But as Nico and I touched on, both of us, as we're exploring what it is to live a primal lifestyle, realize that the electronic world is not primal. It is not how we were supposed to be exposed to all of this light. And one of the things I just want to real quickly touch on is John McCain's brain tumor. Is it from a cell phone? He's been diagnosed. He announced he had been diagnosed with glioblastoma, an aggressive and fast-growing cancer. In 2017, it found that long-term cell phone use, a minimum of 10 years, may be associated with an increase of this rapidly increasing cancer. We've got to take a short break, but let's take a look and go down the rabbit hole on that one a little bit. Stay with us.
We'll be right back.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhoades, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Yeah, hundreds of scientists are calling on the World Health Organization to increase protection against cell phone damage. I mean, there's no denying that we're seeing that there is a tie between cell phone radio frequency electromagnetic stress and the increase in diseases, including brain cancer.
Numerous recent scientific publications have shown that EMF affects living organisms at levels well below most international and national guidelines. And when we look at some of these types of tests that they've been doing, we're finding people who are on the phone a lot have problems.
Well, and that's the other thing, folks. Remember, we haven't had these little tools in our hands for that long, so a lot of the damage from cell phone radiation may not be realized for quite some time. And that's why it's important to take precautions from yet another one. You know, we've got to turn our discussion of cancer, since it's going to take 51% of men and 47% of women. We've got to start caring about preventing it and looking into our environment, what's going on. And what we know is the primary dangers of cell phones are related to mitochondrial damage. There's that M word again, the mitochondria. And the primary pathology behind cell phone damage is not related specifically to the brain tumors or even to cancer. Instead, the real damage lies in damage from the nitrogen species peroxynitrates. And these increased peroxynitrates from the cell phone exposure will damage your mitochondria, and your brain is the most mitochondrial dense organ in your body. Thus, we will see these cancers showing up. You know, there's a lot of things that you can do. We could go into this. We'll be talking more about EMF protection and what you can kind of, you know, do to yourself, but you've got to start protecting yourself and your family from the long-term health damages and setting some guidelines, like keeping the phone away from your head. I used to think, and I think a lot of people did, that when someone put a phone call on speaker, it was kind of being rude. I think it's the only way to go.
Well, it's nice to have it in your car, too, and there's certainly
But then
other
you're
ways
swimming
of
in
doing
a
it.
nice little Bluetooth.
Yeah, but it's not as close to your head, you know, so I think the closer you are, the worse it is. But I think using less and less of these things is going to be better for your health. We're coming up where pretty soon we're going to have this 5G system coming in.
The 5G is horrific in terms of health consequences, folks.
Well, if you see these
if you see these cities that it says smart city, 5G coming, it's not a smart city. It's a dumb city.
Well, these things are about as big as refrigerators, it looks like, sitting on top of poles. So they're huge, huge things. And they're going to be much closer dispersed. In other words, there might be a 5-block radius where the 5G works, but then you need another tower. So the towers are going to be closer together, and they're going to be a lot larger. So that's a problem within itself, I think.
Yeah, so I wanted to finish keeping the phone away from your head, increasing your distance from your radio frequency emitting devices. As you start to replace your appliances, remember that they're putting little devices in there so they can read your usage and use that as marketing data. We don't need all these things. Maybe it's time to go buy your appliances when they break down from a used dealer.
Yeah, another thing, texting, I think, is a lot better. And it's kind of, I didn't like texting when I first started it, but it is kind of nice because
you're saying maybe that's a saving grace for our kids, because most of them don't talk today.
Right, exactly.
They're actually looking on the phone.
Yeah, it's kind of like a double
Number
thing
3,
there.
turn off your Wi-Fi routers. Folks, if you turn them off when you go to bed at night, I see you can buy these little timers on Amazon.
Switch them on and off.
That will cause the Wi-Fi to go off when you're sleeping, be back on. You won't miss a beat, and that'll be good. And then remember that there are some spices that can actually reduce the mitochondrial damage, and this comes back to repairing these peroxynitrates, the spices that are rich in phenolics, specifically cloves, rosemary, turmeric, cinnamon, and ginger. These have protective properties against perinoxidase-induced damage. And again, the best thing to do is be a sun worshiper. Get outside, no damaging toxic sunscreen, get that early morning exposure, get that afternoon infrared, you're getting full spectrum purple, red light. These are the things that I think are really important.
Yeah, another thing, what I've done recently is we go out to dinner, leave the cell phone in the car. Things like, just little things like that.
Little baby steps.
Yeah, little baby steps. And
that's part of the detox process, right?
I guess it is, yeah. And, it's kind of a freaky feeling at first when you do that. You don't have your cell phone with you. I mean, it's like an arm is missing or something like that. But I think these are nice steps that you can take. Another thing is, of course, having family dinners.
I agree with you.
Putting these things away, not having the TV on, which, I often put the TV on.
Well, that's, someone made the point. You can't get well in the environment that made you sick. So these little things that you're talking about sound crazy, but they're all part of your elemental exposure. Now that we've talked a little bit about the power of some of the techniques that are used in the ketogenic diet that include fasting, as Dr. McCullough mentioned, intermittent fasting, periodic fasting, and we've talked about the brain. Here's a great article. Neuroscientists show what fasting does to your brain and why Big Pharma won't study it. This links to a TED Talk that was given by a Mark Madsen. He was the current chief of the Laboratory of Neuroscience at the National Institute of Aging. He's a professor of neuroscience at the Johns Hopkins University. Folks, again, these are people that have a few letters after their name and have got some credibility in my book, and one of the foremost researchers in the area of cellular and molecular mechanisms. And he's been studying Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. And, when we go into this article, the author says they chose to include Big Pharma in the title because that's exactly what it is. There have been countless examples of the manipulation of public research at the hands of pharmaceutical companies in recent years. And this is why Harvard professor of medicine Arnold Seymour Relman told the world that the medical profession has been bought by the pharmaceutical industry.
Yeah. Well, fasting is kind of contrary to modern living because we want to eat 3 square meals a day. We want to snack in between. We want to have a busy life. So fasting kind of says to me that, you're not doing anything. It's something that stops. It's against our culture, and that's why we think it's this new wave thing from the East. That people, but actually, it's a natural process because if you look,
it's a healthy process.
If you look how man grew up in the wild, there was always days when they couldn't find food or very little food, and they were stuck with what they had, maybe a little bit of water and maybe a little bit of herbs, and hence comes the tea and the coffee and types of things that we find so nice to when somebody comes over to offer them things like that. So these offerings were perhaps the only thing left for us to do, but it's such a natural state that our body resets itself every time we're short on food.
It gets a chance to clean house, and it's a really great feeling to realize that when we have those periods in between meals and through fasting, that's exactly what we're doing. We're doing housekeeping instead of digesting food.
We're throwing out the bad stuff.
So here's Dr. Madsen's comment. Why is it that the normal diet is 3 meals a day plus snacks? It isn't that it's the healthiest eating pattern. Now, that's my opinion, but I think there's a lot of evidence to support that.
Yep.
There are a lot of pressure to have this eating pattern, and there's a lot of money involved. The food industry, are they going to make money from skipping breakfast like you or I did today or someone else? No, they're going to lose money. So if people fast, the food industry loses money. What about the pharmaceutical industries? What if people do some intermittent fasting, exercise periodically, and are very healthy? Is the pharmaceutical industry going to make any money on healthy people? So, as we cover some of the main points of his lecture, I want to really share what's going on with the brain and how fasting can help you have a healthier brain, a healthier body.
Maybe the hospital of the future might be that they lock you in a room and you're not eating and you can't eat.
What about those solariums? Back at the turn of the century, people went to fast and be in the sun.
Yep.
Sounds like a good plan. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And welcome back to the show. You know, in my new Health Signals newsletter, I have an article here, the second article, What the Health, and really a good breakdown by Rob Wolf about the film What the Health. I encourage you to pick up the newsletter and read this because it's really important.
I think that Dave Asprey did a pretty good review yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I did see that, yeah.
And I actually thought the comments were as entertaining. I mean, there's probably 750 comments, you know.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you have to make time to read all the comments to be part of the conversation. But
So getting back to the article here.
some of the main points of the lecture that was done at TED Talk with Mark Madsen
Yeah,
and
him
his
and
team.
his team, they published several papers to discuss how fasting twice a week can significantly lower the risk of developing Parkinson's and the Alzheimer's disease.
Hello, that's pretty
Dietary
impressive.
changes.
That's exactly
what
right.
we're talking about.
Yeah, taking that fasting twice a week. And basically, when you take a look also at calorie restriction studies, many of them show a prolonged lifespan as well as an increased ability to fight chronic disease.
It's kind of like resting between exercise. You know, you exercise like a fiend, and then all of a sudden you need a couple of days of rest just to kind of clean out the system, lower the stress. And this is what we're talking about when we're doing fasting. Has the same type of development in your body to kind of reset the clock, get out the damaged goods because you're not bringing anything in, so your body's left alone to get rid of this stuff.
You might want to scroll down. Al's trying to get us a message.
Okay.
While we're looking at that, fasting does good things for the brain, and this is evident by all of the beneficial neurochemicals that happen in the brain when we fast. It also improves the cognitive function, increases the neurotropic function, and increases stress resistance, and ultimately reduces brain inflammation. Now, I actually saw some research that's showing that inflammation in the brain is actually an allergic reaction to stress. Neurochemicals are reacting to the stress.
That makes sense. Fasting does good things for the brain, and this is evident by all of the beneficial neurochemical changes. Just like you said, also improves that cognitive function. So when you're, and I've had a lot of people say this, when I fast, those first few hours are kind of strange, and then all of a sudden things clear up.
You often feel much lighter,
Yeah.
And it stimulates the production of new nerve cells from the stem cells in the hippocampus. Ketones are ready fuel. And we also know that by increasing the number of mitochondria in the neurons, the ability for neurons to form and maintain brain connections is increased. So intermittent fasting enhances the ability of nerve cells to go out and repair our DNA. And I've been telling you about enzymes,
Right.
Digestive enzymes. If we're eating and snacking, our body is so busy digesting food that it doesn't get to use those enzymes, the power to do work, to do repair in the body.
Yeah,
so it makes
sense.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. Another thing I was going to say is that, and I forget it just.
Well, Matt also goes over, and this is really in line with what Nico and I share with our listeners here, is he goes into the evolutionary aspects of this theory, how our ancestors adapted and were built for going long periods of time without food.
And the reason they could do this because they were on a ketogenic diet. So
they were on a natural ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, and what happens, folks, is when you're on a ketogenic diet or you're eating more primal, you're using the different kind of fuel. Instead of using the sucrose, you're using the ketones, which comes from fat, and that fat is long, it's durable, it lasts a long time, so you just don't get hungry. You realize that you need to eat, but it's not a big thing.
And
that's the real difference.
The moderate but appropriate, well-placed proteins, sometimes not having any proteins, so
Right.
you can have autophagy, like Jason Jung teaches us, right?
Right.
We need those crucial amino acids, like Dr. Minkoff has taught us.
Yeah.
Those are the building blocks. So we fast, we clean out the garbage, and then we need the amino acids so we can go back and repair properly.
True.
So I think this is really great research going on. I think this is a TED Talk worth listening to. Maybe you'll put a link to it in our newsletter. And you know, if we're actually fasting, we find out that it kills off the old and damaged immune cells, and when the body rebounds, it uses new stem cells to create brand new, completely healthy cells.
Yeah, and we know
it's
that
the
our
true anti-aging.
Yeah, and our body really reproduces those cells. In other words, replaces those cells about every 6 or 7 years. Your whole body is changed. He says here, we could not predict the prolonged fasting would have such a remarkable effect in promoting stem cell-based regeneration
of the systems. When you starve the system, it tries to save energy. And one of the things it can do to save energy is to recycle a lot of the immune cells that are not needed, especially those
are damaged. Yes.
Right.
We start noticing in both our human work and our animal work is that white blood cells count goes down with prolonged fasting. Then when we refeed, the blood cells come back, and of course we have the new blood cells, and the old ones are gone. So.
So let's talk a little bit about before you fast. Before you fast, make sure you do your research. Okay.
Indeed. Yep.
Personally, you know, I find that fasting is not that hard because we've been living this kind of lifestyle, intermittent fasting, but it is a little bit of a challenge, and we may not have time to get in it today. We may have to do it next time, but we're going to talk about some of the different types of fasting and different strategies. We'll touch on it today, but we'll keep going on it because it's becoming such an important part of the diet.
I like what you said, too, in the beginning. It's not so hard for us because we've already changed the way we eat, and we're primarily fat burners already. If you're a sugar burner, if you're on a high-carbohydrate diet, yes, it's going to be very difficult for you.
You know, but I'm going to
because you get
say,
those cravings.
I'm going to say, Nico, and
Oh,
you know
people do
this.
it, of course. Yeah.
For me, you know, whatever the tendency is, I'm very easily to become metabolically disturbed from an insulin standpoint. I realize it now. Some of my symptoms that progress, now I'm tying it back to I was accidentally eating a pancake here or there. I mean, because I'm a little bit bad sometimes. I'm going to say it.
You're
I'm
a bad
really
girl.
I'm a bad girl sometimes. And, you know, I like to have my wine every once in a while. And I realize that these things, for whatever reason, when stress is involved, I can take a turn and start to become insulin resistant and struggle with the weight.
Yeah.
And I have to get back on
Well,
track.
I think it's a good way to monitor yourself so you know you're going in and out of ketosis. I think it's important to know that, especially in the beginning. So if you are stressing about that, one thing you can do is buy some of these devices, the breathalyzer, that you can blow into and instantly know whether you're in ketosis or not. And then you can see if that third glass of wine is actually kicking you out of ketosis.
Yeah, I never make it to a third. I mean, I'm telling you, I don't even have to drink very much. I mean,
Right.
I'm a 1, maybe 2, but for me, I find that if I do it on too frequent of a basis, like maybe 3 or 4 times a week, that's too much for me.
Yeah.
But I want to get back to before you fasting because I want you to start thinking about integrating this into your life because it's actually really easy. And we're going to talk about one of the ways that you do it is, and this has been used by so many people in order to reverse diabetes, high cholesterol, and other problems that are often associated with obesity and metabolic syndrome. And we call this the 5-2 diet. Very simple. On the 5-2 plan, you cut your food down to 1/4 of your normal daily calories on fasting days. So you only eat about 600 calories for men, and about 500 for women, while consuming plenty of water and tea. And on the other 5 days of the week, you eat normally. Not too tough, guys.
No, that's a pretty easy one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, really, those could be really intense, great salad vegetable days with a little bit of protein.
And I see a lot of people saying that, they eat like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then they won't eat again until noon. And that gives you a really nice break.
Yeah, so we'll talk about those when we come back.
So
we'll hit on a few of these, and we'll see when we get back. We got a short little video coming on first, though.
Yeah, watch that.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhoades, host of The Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Up next, 9 before 9 with John Logan on TFNN.
So the challenges that we face now are this. We know that the manufacturers, the chocolate bar manufacturers that make these processed food and these processed pellets, they're in every single big store in the world. They really consume the majority of sales. You go into your Walmarts, your Costco's, your box stores, they own that. The problem is when you go to your veterinarian to try to get advice, the veterinarian has no tools to work with because they also bought the veterinary foods there as well. So now they own the foods in your veterinarian clinic. So just when you think you can get around it, you can't. To make matters worse, because now we're seeing a revolution through social media, now these chocolate bar manufacturers are going out and they're buying the veterinary clinics. To make matters even worse, now they're buying the labs. And so when you own the labs and you own the clinics, now you get to the students. And when you get to the students, remember we talked about reality is perception, this now becomes food. This now becomes science. And the problem now becomes you've got a riffle, a big giant gap between the pet owner and the veterinarian, because you and I, who are researching every day, well, we know the benefits of fresh food, but when you go to your medical practitioner or your veterinarian, there are no studies that could affect cancer, when we know very damn well that yes, it can affect cancer. And that is why we're seeing astronomical rates of cancer. I'm not saying this is the giant cause, but once you have mitochondrial damage and you're applying all that sugar into your dog's bowl, it's not going to help.
How about that, guys? That's Rodney Habib and our Stephen Klein of Healthy Fit Club. That is an interview that's coming up, and that's the little trailer to it. It's really fascinating. And these guys, Rodney's been involved with some of these doctors that are working with animals and cancer, and they're curing animals of cancer by putting them on a ketogenic diet. Animals that were going to be put to sleep, and they're putting them on a ketogenic diet, and they're back running around. It's fascinating.
Yeah, and the reason they were sick to begin with was because of the food.
And I think what you hear is the same thing as repeating. Mm-hmm. So what they're doing now is they're buying the animal foods, they're adding all the bad food stuff like what we've done to humans. So it's like the truth is stranger than fiction. Yeah. And you can see what's happening. So hopefully you guys will follow that. We'll let you know when the full edition gets released.
I remember back when I had pets, and I always had a pet when I was growing up. And one of the things that the veterinarians always said is that they need to eat the dry food. And the dry food is where the cereals and everything are, and that's where the problems come from. They want to feed us the same stuff. And when you put your pet on a ketogenic diet, their natural diet, I should say, just eating raw meat, none of the problems show up anymore.
And bless their hearts, what does a dog want to do when they don't feel good? They go in a quarter and fast.
Yeah, or they eat some grass.
Right, exactly.
Medicine.
To purge. But,
yeah.
I mean, if we observed what animals do, it would be amazing. But getting back for a couple last tips before we close, Nico and I were sharing how you can start integrating intermittent fasting without missing a beat, without changing your lifestyle. We talked about the 5-2 diet. And, you wanted to share, you started the other strategies.
The other strategies, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. daily, don't eat. The other one was at night, so you...
I liked what you said, eat at 5. And
eat at 4 or 5 o'clock if you can, maybe 6 o'clock at the latest, and then stretch that out for another 12 or 16 hours, so you don't eat until lunch or maybe at late afternoon.
Yeah, getting that 16 hours seems to be the really beneficial time if you can do that. That
is super. The key, and then doing it overnight is the easiest one, because then you've got 6 to 8 hours that you're sleeping and not even conscious of it. So I think that's very helpful. I just want people to know that you don't have to start off and do a 30-day fast. You can do that 4-hour fast to begin with. You can do a 6-hour, but the benefit seems to start after 12 hours.
It's good health and hygiene. It's a great way to allow your body to do its healing. It's a great way, getting into a ketogenic diet where you're eliminating these processed foods. It's great for you. It's great for your animals, and all of us can live a healthier life.
Yeah, and it's about a lifestyle change. The name of the show is Living a Primal Lifestyle. It's this lifestyle that our primitive ancestors used to have, pristine world, eating food and fasting at the same time, and going out and doing things that you enjoy to do.
So let's take our health back, guys, and live a primal lifestyle.
And I think attitude, it plays the huge role in this. So if your attitude is really great, do what my dad always did, say, how lucky can I get?
How lucky can you get?
Yeah.
Well, we'll see you next time.
Thanks for sticking around. Bye-bye.
Basil Chapman will be giving a 2-series webinar Wednesday, August 2nd and Wednesday, August 16th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Can sector rotation buoy the market into 2018? Each time the market feels it's ready to have a sharp decline, formerly weak sectors rally to hold the market up. This 2-webinar series will be free for Basil's opening call subscribers, and non-subscribers will also receive his daily newsletter for 1 month free as a trial subscription. Sign up for a 30-day free trial to Basil's daily newsletter, The Opening Call, and gain access to his subscriber-only webinar on August 2nd and Wednesday, August 16th from 5 to 6:30 p.m. Can sector rotation buoy the market into 2018?
Hi everyone, this is Basil Chapman, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at my webinar series.
To sign up for a 30-day free trial to Basil's daily newsletter and gain access to Basil's webinar, visit the front page of TFNN.com. You're watching Tiger TV.